everyone, welcome back to our channel. I am Kate.
And I am Martin.
Hey Martin, how's it going today?
Oh, hey Kate, I'm doing great, thanks. You know what? I had the most interesting morning. I was watching this debate competition online and wow, those speakers were incredible.
Really? That sounds exciting. I love watching debates too. There's something amazing about seeing people express their opinions clearly and confidently, right?
Absolutely. But Kate, I remember when I was learning English, debates felt so scary. I mean, speaking in front of people? Arguing in another language? That was my worst nightmare.
Oh, I totally understand that feeling, Martin. Many of our viewers probably feel the same way right now. But you know what? Today we're going to change that.
That's right. Today we're talking about how to participate in a debate in English, and trust me, it's not as difficult as you think.
Whether you're preparing for a school debate, a college competition, or just want to express your ideas better in discussions, we've got you covered.
So grab a cup of tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in together.
Let's do this, Martin.
All right, Kate, let's start with the basics. When someone hears the word debate, what do you think comes to their mind?
Probably two people arguing loudly, maybe shouting at each other.
Exactly. But that's not what a real debate is, Kate. A debate is a structured discussion where people present different viewpoints on a topic. It's not about shouting. It's about expressing ideas clearly and respectfully.
Yes. And the beautiful thing about debates, Martin, is that they help you think critically. They improve your speaking skills, your listening skills, and even your confidence.
So true, Kate. Now let's talk about the basic structure. In most debates, there are two sides. We call them the for side and the against side. Some people also say pro and con.
Right. For example, if the topic is social media does more harm than good, one team argues for this statement, meaning they agree. The other team argues against it, meaning they disagree.
Perfect example, Kate. And here's something important. You don't always have to believe in the side you're arguing for. It's about building strong arguments and presenting them well.
Exactly, Martin. Now, let's learn some key phrases you'll need. First, how do you start your argument?
Great question. You can say, in my opinion, or I strongly believe that, or from my perspective.
Lovely. Let's practice one together. Repeat after us. In my opinion, learning English opens many doors.
Great job. Another useful phrase is, I'd like to point out that this sounds professional and confident.
Yes. And when you want to add more information, you can say, furthermore, or moreover, or in addition to that.
These words connect your ideas smoothly, Kate. They make you sound like a natural speaker.
Now, Martin, what about when someone from the other team says something and you disagree?
Ah, that's important. You must disagree politely and respectfully. Never say, you're wrong, or that's stupid. That's rude.
Instead, say, I respectfully disagree because, or I see your point, but I think differently because, or that's an interesting perspective, however.
These phrases show you're listening, Kate, but you have a different opinion. That's very important in English communication.
Absolutely, Martin. And when you want to support your argument with facts or examples, you can say, according to research, or studies show that, or for instance.
Yes, let's try one. Repeat after us. According to research, reading improves vocabulary.
Wonderful. Now, how do you end your argument strongly, Martin?
Good question, Kate. You can say to sum up, or in conclusion, or therefore, I believe that.
Perfect. These phrases tell everyone you're finishing your point. It sounds organized and professional.
All right, Kate. I think our viewers have learned some amazing phrases. Should we see them in action?
Yes, let's do it, Martin.
Okay, so Kate, let's imagine we're in a debate competition right now. The topic is students should be allowed to use smartphones in class.
Ooh, interesting topic, Martin. Okay, I'll argue for this statement, and you argue against it. Sound good?
Perfect. Let's begin. Kate, you go first.
Thank you, Martin. Good afternoon, everyone. In my opinion, students should be allowed to use smartphones in class because they are powerful learning tools. Furthermore, smartphones give students instant access to information. For instance, if a student doesn't understand a word, they can quickly look it up. Moreover, many educational apps make learning fun and interactive. Therefore, I believe banning smartphones completely is not the solution. Instead, we should teach students how to use them responsibly.
That's an interesting perspective, Kate. However, I respectfully disagree. I'd like to point out that smartphones are major distractions in classrooms. According to research, students who use phones during class score lower on tests. In addition to that, many students use phones for social media and games, not for learning. Furthermore, constant phone use affects face-to-face communication skills. To sum up, I believe smartphones do more harm than good in educational settings.
I see your point, Martin, but let me respond to that. Yes, smartphones can be distracting, but so are many other things. The real issue isn't the phone itself, it's how we use it. Moreover, with proper guidelines and supervision, teachers can help students use phones for educational purposes only. For example, students can use calculator apps, take notes, or research topics during group projects. Therefore, the solution isn't banning them, but managing them wisely.
You make a valid argument, Kate. However, I still maintain my position. Studies show that even having a phone nearby reduces concentration, even if students aren't using it. In addition to that, not all students have equal access to smartphones, which creates inequality in the classroom. From my perspective, traditional learning methods work perfectly fine without the need for constant digital devices.
Wow, Martin, that was a great exchange.
You too, Kate. And did everyone notice? We disagreed completely, but we stayed respectful and calm.
Exactly. That's the key to good debating. You can have different opinions without being rude or aggressive.
And notice how we use those phrases we taught earlier? In my opinion, furthermore, I respectfully disagree. According to research,
Yes, those phrases made our argument sound natural and professional, Martin.
now here's a little secret, Kate. In real debates, you also need to listen carefully to the other side.
Oh, that's so important. Don't just think about your next argument while the other person is speaking. Actually listen to their points.
Right. Because sometimes you need to respond directly to what they said. This shows you're engaged and thoughtful.
And one more thing, Martin. Body language matters too.
Absolutely, Kate. Stand or sit confidently. Make eye contact with your audience or judges. Don't cross your arms or look down. Show confidence with your body, not just your words.
Even if you feel nervous inside, Martin, your body language can make you appear confident.
Yes, and remember, everyone feels nervous. Even experienced debaters get butterflies in their stomachs.
So, Martin, let's talk to our viewers directly for a moment.
Yes, if you're watching this video, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but I'm not confident enough yet.
And that's completely normal, Martin. Here's the truth. Confidence comes from practice, not perfection.
Exactly, Kate. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Even if you make mistakes, even if you forget a phrase, even if your pronunciation isn't perfect, that's okay.
Every expert debater you see today was once a beginner. They made mistakes, they felt nervous, but they kept practicing.
And you know what? Each time you participate in a debate or even a simple discussion in English, you're building skills. You're training your brain to think in English.
So start small, Martin's right. Practice with a friend, join online discussion groups, or even debate with yourself in front of a mirror.
Yes. And remember those phrases we taught you today. Write them down. Practice saying them out loud. Use them in conversations.
The more you use them, Martin, the more natural they'll feel. Soon, you won't even have to think about them. They'll just flow naturally.
And here's something beautiful about learning English through debates. You're not just learning a language. You're learning to think critically, to listen actively, and to express yourself powerfully.
These are life skills, Martin. They'll help you in job interviews, presentations, meetings, and so many real-life situations.
So don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to share your opinion. Your voice matters, and the world needs to hear it.
Yes. And remember, making mistakes is part of learning. In fact, mistakes are proof that you're trying, that you're growing.
Well, Kate, I think we've covered a lot today.
We really have, Martin. I hope everyone watching feels more confident about participating in debates now.
Before we go, let's do a quick recap. We learned the basic structure of debates, key phrases for expressing opinions, and how to disagree respectfully.
We also saw how these phrases work in a real debate situation, and we talked about the importance of listening and body language.
Now it's your turn. We want to hear from you. Here's a fun challenge. In the comments below, write one sentence using any phrase we taught today.
Yes. For example, in my opinion, learning English is exciting. Or, I believe that practice makes perfect. Show us what you've learned.
And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us create more content for you.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss our new videos. We post fresh English lessons every day.
Share this video with your friends who are also learning English. Let's grow this community together.
And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, Martin, tell them what to do.
Just leave a comment below. We read every single one and we love hearing from you.
Thank you so much for watching today, everyone. Keep practicing, keep learning, and never stop believing in yourself.
Your English journey is amazing and we're so happy to be part of it. See you in the next video.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.